All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty surprising New York Times article where they've essentially been calling out President Joe Biden for spreading misinformation or political propaganda. Recently, the Biden administration has been making some pretty brave claims, to say the least. They've been making claims that, basically make Biden look a lot better than what he's doing. Now, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, I don't really share my political preferences or I don't try to make politically biased content like a lot of, mainstream outlets or a lot of people on YouTube do, because it's not my place, I feel like, to tell you who to vote for or what to think. But it really grinds my fucking gears when I see stuff like this, because the hypocrisy that society holds towards stuff like this and just how much we kind of ignore things like this, really, it just blows my mind. The American society is so willfully ignorant, it feels like. I mean, we just allow this kind of stuff to go on. We don't call it out. We only really call out, it seems like, one side of the political aisle when they do this, and when the other side of the political aisle does something similar, we just kind of shrug and brush it off, which is why it's even more surprising that out of everybody in the mainstream media or legacy media at this point, it was actually the New York Times who called out Biden on this, considering the New York Times oftentimes is considered to be a left-leaning news source, aka they kind of favor Democrats a little bit more. They were the only ones with the balls out of everybody to kind of call this entire situation out. And it's actually incredible that they did, because people should be more aware of things like this, man. When you see this kind of misinformation being spread by the President of the United States and his cabinet and his advisors and his fans and, his spokespeople at the White House, it's just not good. So if you didn't know, here in just a couple of days, the US is going to have a pretty major day. We have a massive nationwide election day coming up. If you haven't registered to vote yet, you need to do that. It is imperative that you vote and exercise your right as an American citizen to vote. Honestly, I shouldn't have to be the one to explain that to you. Honestly, though, I don't care who you vote for. Go vote, though. Make sure you're making informed decisions. Do even a little bit of research online. Make sure you're finding credible sources. Get informed on the issues and make your decisions and help actually shape the future of the country. But with that being said, it's insane because this election's coming up, right? And people are about to go to the polling places and, cast their votes and everything. I'll be one of the people voting. And as we approach that day, there's kind of a massive battle going on between Republicans and Democrats right now. There's been a lot of talks about a red wave, which essentially means that Republicans might win a bunch of the elections coming up, which would jeopardize the Biden administration's last 2 years of the presidency, because the Republicans could pretty much halt any legislation in office that's written by the Democrats if they gain enough seats in the House and Senate and whatnot. Polls indicate that a lot of people are planning to vote Republican. I know already who I'm going to be voting for in my local elections. I'm not going to share that information. It's really up to you guys to decide who you're going to vote for, or if you're going to vote at all. But Biden has essentially been just kind of exaggerating the facts and kind of lying in order to make his appearance look better before these elections. As President Biden and his administration have told it in recent months, America has the fastest growing economy in the world. His student debt forgiveness program passed Congress by a vote or two, and Social Security benefits became more generous thanks to his leadership. None of that was accurate. The president, who has long been seen as embellishing the truth, has recently overstated his influence on the economy or omitted key facts. This week, Mr. Biden praised himself for giving retirees a raise during a speech in Florida. Quote, "On my watch, for the first time in 10 years, seniors are getting an increase in their Social Security checks," he declared. The problem, that increase was a result of an automatic cost of living increase prompted by the most rapid inflation in 40 years. Mr. Biden had not done anything to make retirees' checks bigger. It was just a byproduct of the soaring inflation that the president has vowed to combat. In stops across the country in recent weeks, Mr. Biden has also credited himself with bringing down the federal budget deficit, the gap between what America owes and what it earns. This year on the deficit under our leadership is falling by $1.4 trillion, he said last week in Syracuse, New York. Quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, the largest ever one-year cut in American history on the deficit." Left unsaid was the fact that the deficit was so high in the first place because of pandemic relief spending, including a $1.9 trillion economic aid package the president pushed through Congress in 2021 and which was not renewed. Mr. Biden was in effect claiming credit for not passing another round of emergency assistance. So essentially what's happening here is Biden is taking things that aren't really that great on paper, inflation's rising like fucking crazy and it's causing cost of living increases. He's taking that info and spinning it to oh yeah, look how much I'm helping out the old folks, man. Their Social Security security checks are going up finally. And it's all at my discretion. Like, yeah, bro, you mean the rising inflation that's making everyone fucking live worse off? Groceries cost more, families' gas costs more, their cost of living overall's higher, and you're taking credit as if you did a good thing here? Like, yeah, man. And I get it, right? Politicians lie, they tell damned lies. That's part of the process, but if this kind of shit's not called out, then people are gonna believe that, oh, Biden, he's really increasing people's social security checks. Look how much he cut off the deficit that he helped create when we spent a bunch of money that we didn't have. Yeah, the US prints a whole shit ton of money for all these programs and everything, and there's nothing to back that, and then we spend all this money and it raises the debt ceiling and everything in the country, it raises the deficit in the country, and then we celebrate because we didn't pass a new round of spending money that would raise it even more. That's supposed to be what makes me vote blue no matter who in this election? That's what's gonna make me vote Democrat in this election? It's kind of sad how both political parties do this shit, right? Like they just spin the facts and they spin the truth of what's going on so they look better on paper. It's so fucking cringe to me, man. And I get that people fall for it and that's why they do it, but it's like, dude, this guy is not doing any of these things that he's claiming he's doing. Like these benefits that he claims he's passing and shit, that is not going down the way that it is. And the thing is millions of Americans read shit like that and they believe it. They're like, oh, look at what Biden's doing for the economy. Look at all the good things happening to the US economy because of Biden. As if we're not about to fall into a global economic recession within the next couple months, if we're not really already there. Oh wait, but I forgot, since we're talking about the Biden administration and their misinformation they've been publishing, let's talk about the fact that Biden's administration quite literally changed the definition of a recession so that it wouldn't fit what's currently going on, so it couldn't be actually classified as a recession. Isn't that pretty incredible how that works? I just find it like funny that, people aren't talking about this issue either. Like, I'm not the biggest Donald Trump fan. I don't want to sit here and defend some of the things that he said. I disagree with a lot of what Trump has said and done, but it's funny because if he was doing the same exact shit that Biden's doing right now, front page of CNN would have like 7 different articles about it. Every legacy media program besides Fox News would be running a segment about it. People would be calling for him to be impeached. All this different shit. But of course, when Biden, or let's be honest, any Democrat does that, when they spin the facts or they misconstrue what they're doing to make themselves look better, everybody wants to be fucking quiet about it and act like it's not a big deal. So what I'm kind of garnering from this whole situation here, what I've kind of learned from seeing this shit happen firsthand, is it's okay if Democrats spread misinformation. It's okay if the left uninforms people and tells them the wrong things. As long as they win elections, as long as those people vote blue no matter who, it's 10 billion% acceptable for people on the left to do shit like this. Where's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all the other Democratic lawmakers calling out Biden for spreading misinformation? Where's the calls to censor his Twitter page? Which is funny because the White House tried recently publishing a string, I guess, of this misinformation, of this bullshit to their page, and it got community fact-checked on Twitter and they ended up deleting the tweet. So it's just funny how this whole thing works, and like how Biden is doing whatever he can at any means necessary, basically, to try and save his legacy and try and save his whole presidency at this point. I just find it really funny, man. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, thank you for watching, and until the next video, this is Optimus talking about Biden's presidency and misinformation, and signing out.